You've got a Quest 2 for Christmas! I hope you guys are as excited as I am about your own Quest 2. Right, let's get on with it. So, hello guys and girls. Today I have 20, yes, 20 games that I think you need to play. Now, these are going to be games whether you are brand new, like most of you are, welcome to the Quest 2 community, or if you are veterans, or if you're an adult, or if you're a child, or probably more likely if you're watching this, an adult that's bought a Quest 2 for their child. What games can you have for all these sort of different needs? Because you can't just have the best games list, because it depends on what you like, it depends on whether you've got your VR legs yet, it depends on whether you are more childish or a child, or more of an adult, whether you like horror games or whether you like sports games. You get the point, right? So I've kind of made and compiled a list to help you with all of it, all being well. First of all, let's get the honourable mentions out of the way, the ones that you've all heard, you all kind of know of, but they are still worth getting and they're great. So number one is Beatsaber. Now, yes, I've already got a video on this actually, which I will put up here. And that is a full review of Beatsaber, whether it's worthwhile buying or not yet. Quick hint, it is, but there's some caveats and some reasons why, so definitely check that out. Now, I'm just going to quickly go over Beatsaber. You hit boxes to a beat, hence Beatsaber, right? And you slice them with lightsabers. It's amazing. It's a great game. It's the staple of everyone who has VR, in my opinion, or it should be. So if you haven't got it, go and get it, have fun, get a bit of a sweat on, maybe burn off some of that Christmas dinner and Boxing Day lunch and dinner and beer and wine and pizza and chicken and turkey and ham and potatoes. Go burn it all off whilst having fun and not getting motion sick. Okay, that's Beatsaber. Let's move on. So the second honourable mention, the second game, is Star Wars Vader Immortal. Now this is an incredible game. I'm just not going to go into full details of it now because we'd be here for about 2 hours. It's one of the best looking games, even though it was out really early on the original Quest. But it's still one of the best looking games you can have. You basically play as a Jedi of sorts, and you go through, it's very story based, with some definitely good action sequences and bits to play in there. But you play as a Jedi and you learn about Darth Vader, basically. It's incredible. If you want to feel like you're in a AAA title, straight off the bat, you're worried about motion sickness, you're worried about it being like too immersive and too overwhelming, and too much of an assault on your senses, but you really want to play an incredible game. Star Wars Vader Immortal. It's insane. I mean, even if you get about anything else, you can be in a dojo with a lightsaber and fight those, you know, those little robots which fly around and shoot at you and that you see in the films. You can play against them. You've got force powers. It's amazing. Go get it. Let's move on. Okay, so number 3 is Space Pirate. This is another staple, I think. I don't think it's talked about as much, to be honest. It's been out for a long time, like Beatsaber. So basically, you stand up, which is another big thumbs up for motion sickness people. You stand up still and fire at little spaceships which fly around and try and shoot you. It's great. There's tons of levels. There's never-ending levels, basically. And it's almost like Space Invaders, but you're in VR. You know what? It's loads better than Space Invaders. Look, you can see on screen right now, it's really, really cool. It's really fun. If you want a game you can just jump straight into, have a quick bash and leave, then this and Beat Saber are your number 1 choices right now. Okay, on to the next one. Okay, so the final honourable mention is Superhot. You can't just say Superhot. You've got to say Superhot. Right, Superhot's amazing. It's that game where if you move, the enemy moves. Look, I'll show you the clip now, and then I'll carry on talking as you can watch sort of how it all plays out. Every time you move, they move. It's an amazing, trippy, fun first experience in VR. So this is another great one to play first. It's in honourable mentions just because it's been out for years and it's a super famous game. Everyone talks about it, everyone's done reviews on it, so we'll leave it at that. But basically, in a nutshell, you have to kill these red dudes, and they're trying to kill you. And it's like you're in the Matrix, You can dodge bullets and block them out of the air. It's incredible. You can shoot people or you can punch them to death in one hit. You can throw knives at them, you can throw the gun at them, you can throw ashtrays at them. It's incredible. It's amazing. I'm maybe not selling it there with finishing off saying you can throw ashtrays at them, but get this game, you won't regret it. Okay, so now on to the first proper game. What I mean by proper game is those other four were, like I said, honourable mentions because everybody knows of them, near enough. And I know obviously if you're brand new, you might not have known about them, but as soon as you type in like Beatsaber or Superhot, you'll just have hundreds and hundreds of videos. On the Beatsaber one, hopefully look at mine, hundreds of videos to choose from to learn about them. So we've pushed on a little bit. So the proper first one for you. The Room VR Dark Matter. This game is incredible. I love this game. In fact, I need to do a review on this game, even though it's a year or two old now. I need to, because I've played this game through completely multiple times. Imagine being in an escape rooms, but it's huge, and each level gets progressively, and perfectly, by the way, perfectly harder. You learn how to do new difficult tasks, but they make it fun. It's amazing. And beautiful, beautiful graphics, fun, interesting, inquisitive ways to interact with your surroundings. I can't sing this game's praises high enough, to be honest. If you want a game as well where you can sit down and relax a little bit, you know, you don't have to get a big sweat on like with Beatsaber, or try and be Neo and pull off, you know, some cool moves in Superhot, and you just want to sit down and relax and take your time, you know, maybe after a hangover or something. This is the game for you. I can't say more about it really than take your time, step by step, figure your way through to escaping this room and getting on to the next part and sorting out the next piece of the puzzle. Great game. Okay, so on to game number 6, Thrill of the Fight. This game is fun. Especially, this is going to be great for New Year if you want to work off some of the Christmas and Boxing Day food I was talking about before. You can be in a ring, or you can train against a dummy or a speed bag. You can be like Rocky, you know, banging on the thing. It's amazing. You can play against easier opponents, harder opponents. You can also select on each opponent that you play against, whether it's easy or medium or hard difficulty. It actually gets your heart racing a little bit, and not just from a workout, this boxing game, but from like panic and fear and a bit of claustrophobicness, if that's a word, from this, you know, VR enemy being right in your face. This game's great. This is my go-to game if I want to get a little bit of a fun VR workout in. Okay, let's move on. I Expect You to Die 1 and 2. Oh my god, I adore these games. These are possibly one of my favourite games on this entire list. And there's some really good games coming up. So I Expect You to Die 1 and 2 is like another mini escape rooms type game. You sit down, you relax until you start playing the game, and then you just die repeatedly. It's amazing. I know that doesn't sound great, bear with me. I'll show you now while I carry on talking. You have to do these incredible puzzles, and every time you mess up, you die in such a fun, silly, annoying way. Like the first level on the first game, when you keep blowing up, like you open up the glove box and there's dynamite and it blows up in your face. You try and disarm a bomb and you pull the wrong wire and it blows up in your face. You can die from poison gas. You can die from bees. Yes, bees, that's right. You can die from a huge flying axe in the second one. There's so much fun and silliness. At one point you shoot down a plane from the sky, from a train, and there's so many amazing moments. And then there's the great thing that you're challenging yourself and training your brain. You've got to find an escape route from this predicament that you're in. Have I mentioned you're a spy? How cool is that to always be I've always wanted to be a spy. I have been a spy now. This game is so much fun because it's also incredibly story driven. And if you watched my After the Fall review, you'll realise that's one of my biggest gripes about that game, is that there's no story at all, really. There's like a few sentences of story, and that's it. This game has really good story, really good narration, really good voice acting,
Really good set pieces. Everything about it's fantastic. And both of them. And the second one just builds on the first one. The second one is just the first one, but better, which is what a sequel should actually be like. Where most games, the second one's not as good as the first. The second one is even better. Definitely play the first though. The first? Yeah, the first. And then play the second after. You will not be disappointed. Okay, let's move on. Blade and Sorcery Nomad. So this is a game if you want to get rid of your frustration. If you got a bit frustrated and you want to chop people's heads off, limbs off, throw flame balls at them, shoot them, chop them with an axe, chop them with a sword, and just, to be honest, just have fun and be silly, but it'd be really cathartic too, then to be honest, this one would be my pick over Thrill of the Fight. I love Thrill of the Fight, like I talked about before, the boxing game, but this one is just is so fun. And to be honest, it is kind of like Gorn. If you haven't seen Gorn, you don't know what Gorn is, after you watch this video, go type in Gorn, you'll see. Gorn's a bit more cartoony, which is nothing wrong with. I love those graphics. But this is better. When it first was released on the Quest 2, what, like a month ago now or something, there was some issues, but they're sort of patching them all up now, and they're kind of, all the glitches are pretty much gone. You can shoot arrows at people. Basically, you're kind of like a gladiator almost back in the day, and you get to chop up and kill people, but without the real life repercussions. Winner. So, Blade Sorcery Nomad. Top levels of fun. You can just jump in straight away and hack and slash and kill people. And I know they're adding in different things coming up. They're adding in basically more replayability, because the one thing I will say is after, I don't know, 20 minutes or something, you kind of get a bit bored, which is nothing wrong with. It's the type of game it is right now, but you get a bit bored of just dismembering people. A sentence I didn't think I'd ever say. So yeah, Blade and Sorcery Nomad, there's another winner. It's another one to de-stress, kill a load of people in a healthy way. Can you kill people in a healthy way? Yeah, of course you can in the VR world. It's only a bit of fun, a bit of silliness. Chop off some limbs, burn some people alive. Can't believe I'm saying do that, but yeah, go and have fun. 11 Table Tennis. That's the actual name of the game. This isn't game number 11. The game's called 11 Table Tennis. This game is a hidden gem. If you've not heard of it, or you've seen it advertised but you've been unsure, if you like table tennis, ever, you don't have to be great at it. If you've ever played it and enjoyed it, this game is amazing. The physics of this game are incredible. Let me put the trailer on so you can see it. The trailer doesn't really do it justice. Apologies. If you're not happy with the footage that you're about to see with the trailer, comment below, let me know, and I will do a little review of this game properly and put my own footage over the top of it, okay? By the way, just so everyone, for all of you that have stuck around me so far, the reason why I've got trailer footage for all of these things is because I'm just recovering from COVID. I've just had my first negative test today. And I've still wanted to try and get a video ready for you guys, and I wanted to have all the footage that I would be talking over, me playing the games, and like I'd normally do. I just haven't been well enough. I know I look okay now, and I feel okay now sat down, but I still haven't got enough energy to actually play on my VR properly, which doesn't take that much. So apologies that I'm doing trailers and so on, but that's why I've just got, like I say, my first negative COVID test today. Anyway, let's move on before YouTube shuts me down for mentioning COVID. So let's play some of the footage. So as you can see, you get to play table tennis, but it's the physics that are so good. If you mess up a certain shot in the real world, and I play quite a bit of table tennis, then you will mess up the shot in the game. It's really, really impressive. My serve has always been pretty good in the real world and pretty fast, and it is here. And it does the exact same trajectory and path. I'm really, really impressed. So you can play against the computer, going from easy all the way up to like Grandmaster. That's insanely difficult to play against. But to be honest, the really fun one is you can just play against anyone online, basically instantly. They can just send you a friend request. You can send a request, or you could just select to play someone random, and it's really, really fun. So yeah, 11 Table Tennis. Definitely a game that most people might ignore. Don't sleep on it. Get it. Right, let's move on. So the final game, if you are a newbie to VR and an adult, is The Walking Dead Saints and Sinners. Now, Maybe I should have put this in the honourable mentions at the beginning, but it's just too big of a game, I think, to have done that to. And what I mean by that is it's just the size of the actual game, not just the fact it's another AAA title. So The Walking Dead Saints and Sinners is a game you can spend hours and hours and hours and hours just going through the normal campaign. Now, yes, there's some gripes, there's some issues. A lot of people moan at the beginning that, you know, it's like you're asthmatic, and it kind of is. You can't run very far for very long at all. But it's a slow burner. But not even really, because I enjoyed it from the get-go. I didn't have that same gripe other people have had. I mean, it happened to me, but you have to be a bit more tactful. You have to think about things a bit more, have a bit more strategy. And I love that. And then you still get to grab a zombie by the head and stab it in the head with a screwdriver or something. Like, what's not to love? There's amazing story, there's great voice acting, there's great graphics, especially considering the size of the game. There's lots of different ways to play it. There's tons of different characters to meet along the way. You can't really go wrong with Saints and Sinners. You get to craft weapons, you can explore loads and risk being swarmed in the middle of the night by zombies, because at night time the zombies are everywhere. Or you can try and speed run through the game as much as you can speed run this type of game and get through really quick. It's great. It's amazing. If you only wanted to get one game and you like zombies, it's got to be this. This is the best zombie game out there. Maybe tied with Arizona Sunshine, but that's only with me. Most people are not going to agree with that. So get yourself Saints and Sinners. So the first game for if you're getting a game for your child, basically, and you want them to play and have fun, but you don't want to be too worried about it. For example, Walking Dead Saints and Sinners. So you want to get Acron, Attack of the Squirrels. This game, to be honest, even if you're an adult, this game is super fun. This New Year's Eve, currently as I'm doing this video, it is Monday the 27th of December. This New Year's Eve, we're going to have a party and a few people around, and we're going to be playing this game. So basically, you can be the tree in the headset, right? You're the tree. Bear with me. I'll play some footage over now. So you're the tree, and then everyone else can get the app and can be the squirrels. And they come and try and steal acorns off the tree, and you bat them down and so on. Now, you want between sort of 4 and 6 other people to be squirrels, which is kind of the sweet spot, I think, for you to be able to actually have a fun game, because you're super overpowered as the tree. So you want between 4 and 6 people to play. Now, I know that's a bit of a pain and you might not want to do that and so on, but if you are going to have people around, this is the game to get. It's super fun. Adults and kids can play, to be honest. And again, it's great if you're new and you get VR motion sickness, because you don't really move around. You just swing your arms around and bat squirrels away as the tree. Really good fun. Kids will love it. Adults will love it. You can't go wrong. Let's move on. So the next one is Angry Birds VR Island of Pigs. I'm not trying to be mean here to Angry Birds. I mean, I've put it on the list, right? And there's hundreds of games I haven't put on the list. But do you need to know much more? Have you played Angry Birds? Of course you have. You pull back on the catapult and you fly the birds and they hit the pigs and terrible sounds, I know, right? You do that in VR. I mean, it's great. It's really fun, but there's not much more for me to talk about. So let's move on. So the next game is Moss. I don't know if I can call this a hidden gem, because it is a pretty well-known game, but actually a lot of people I speak to about VR have not heard of this game, so maybe it isn't that well-known. Maybe it's only well-known to people like myself, VR creators. This game is great. And again, this is the section for kids, and I'm very aware of that, but to be honest, I love this game too. I love all of them so far that I've said about in the kids section. This game's amazing. So it's like a platformer, but in VR. And you're looking after a mouse, it's called Moss. And you're getting him through all these different levels. But you're never him. Basically, you look after and take care of this mouse and help guide him and get him through a world of puzzles and problems and enchanted forests. This game is so incredible. If you want your child or yourself to just be lost in the world of VR, in a fun, happy, engaging experience, Moss is the game for you. ForeVR Bowling. Sorry. See what they did there? Same as the darts. ForeVR darts. Clever, these people. Look, this game isn't particularly for kids. I probably shouldn't put it in the kids section. I've put it in there because this kids section is more like adult and kids, like family friendly section. Look, it's bowling in VR. Everyone fell in love, what, 10 years ago with Wii bowling? God, was it 10 years ago? I think it probably was. Fact check it for me. If you're watching this, quickly pause and have a quick look. Was it about 10 years ago when Wii bowling came out? I honestly have no idea. Comment below, let me know if it was. Thanks. That's going to bug me. So, look, it's bowling in VR. Now, it's great, especially if someone else has got a VR headset, because the one thing that is a bit annoying about this is you have to keep taking the VR headset off and putting it on them and let them have a go for bowling, and that's a bit of that is a pain. There's not a bit of a pain, that's a pain. It's not bad for once or twice, and then it gets a bit annoying, right? So if someone else has got a VR headset too, this game is great. So if you are having to self-isolate, like I was doing until today, and someone else has got a VR headset, and you want to bowl, winner. You can bowl against each other. It's great. I mean, what else is to say about it? It's VR bowling, but it is really fun. It is really good. The physics are fine. The physics are great, and you don't get a sore arm if you do like me. Like when I go bowling, I do everything full throttle, so I'll do about 10 rounds, and by the end of it, my arm's a bit sore. So you don't get that. Happy days. Right, let's move on. Captain Toonhead versus the punks from outer space. This game's mental. This game will keep your kids occupied forever. Like, it's so wacky and crazy. You know what? I'm going to jump straight to some footage first, quicker than usual now, okay? And talk over that. So, your kids will be obsessed with this game and wanting to play on it all the time because of all the crazy, vibrant colours and fun and silliness. And to be honest, if you ever want to play it after maybe having a little drink or maybe a little smoke of something, that's all I'm saying, that's all I'm saying. This game is insane. It is actually so fun. In fact, this game is probably one of the wackiest, most fun, silly, engaging titles there is, full stop, ever. I mean, it's a shooter and it's a silly game and so on, but just with the visuals and the craziness of it, that's what really separates it, right? And everything and everyone's after a unique selling point these days. Well, that's this one. The visuals are mental. Look, there's not much more to say about this game. It's a shoot 'em up. There's a few little puzzles and bits and pieces, and it's crazy, mental, fun, quirky, cartoony graphics. Lots of funny, silly talk and characters, and it's just mental. This game's... if you want an experience where you go in, what the hell was that? That was amazing. This is the game for you. Or your kids. So now these are the VR games for if you've got your VR legs, if you like. So if you don't get motion sickness and that sort of thing. First one is Resident Evil 4. I love this game. Now, I have done a full review of this game, and it's up here. So you can click on that now if you want. I'll also put a link down below, so you can click on it afterwards if you want, and carry on watching the rest of this video. Your choice. But for a quick rundown now, you have to... It's the same story as the original Resident Evil 4, if you've ever played that. You have to save the president's daughter. There's loads of zombies. They're not really zombies, they're the last plaguers, but they're like zombies, right? They're trying to eat you and stop you, and blah, 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 blah. Bosses, all the sort of usual stuff, item management, but you're in an amazing old school game that you've got, but it looks better, it feels better. You get to reload the guns yourself, you get to stand up against, these huge enemies, you get surrounded by enemies, you get to shoot their heads off with a shotgun. I mean, what isn't to like about this game? I adore it, I love it. It took me around 10 hours to play through the first time, around 7.5, 8 hours the second time, and now I've got it down to about 4.5 hours, and I'm playing through for about my 6th time right now. I am obsessed with this game, I love this game, I can't sing its praises high enough. Now this next game I might get a little bit of hate for. It's Arizona Sunshine. Now it's quite a few years old, and maybe it's just because I have a soft spot for it. This is the first game I ever played. I went to a VR place, a building, and tried VR for the first time, off the cuff, completely randomly. And this is the game I tried. I tried Beatsaber, who doesn't? And I tried this, and I fell in love with it. And then I got an original Quest, and then I realised you couldn't get it on the Quest when I got it like 2 and a bit years ago. That was annoying. So I actually bought this PC. I bought that PC, which was like £900 at the time, and I didn't have £900 really. So I could get Arizona Sunshine, another 30 or 40 quid, and I got the Oculus Link cable, which wasn't actually out at the time. So I got all this and then realised I still couldn't play Arizona Sunshine because you couldn't link the PC to the Oculus yet. That's how long ago it was when I got this. Then I waited till you could, and then I played it. And then when they re-released it, finally on the Quest and the Quest 2, I bought it again so I could play standalone. I adore this game. What is the bloody game, you're probably saying? You shoot zombies like every other zombie shooter, okay? But it's amazing. I think it's fantastic. Now, the graphics are great on the PC, obviously. On the normal Quest 2, they're better than on the Quest 1. The Quest 1, they're good, but they can be a bit patchy. What I love is that they can have so many zombies in one place from back then. Now, these are the people that made After the Fall. I have a full review for After the Fall. Right now I'm talking about Arizona Sunshine, just so you don't get confused. A full review for After the Fall. I'll put it up here, and I'll put a link down in the bottom as well. The reason why I'm talking about these people's much earlier game they made, After the Fall is their latest game they've made. The reason why I'm talking about Arizona Sunshine is because I prefer it. I think it's much better. Arizona Sunshine is one of the best just arcadey shooter zombie games. If you want a zombie game where there's not much story, there's some story for sure, and it's good, but there's not tons of story-based things. It's just sort of get here and do this mission, get here and do this mission, and whilst you're going from here to here, kill a shit ton of zombies. Arizona Sunshine's your game. Then they've got the downloadable content as well, the DLC, which is great. One of them's quite short, but the other one's really good. You can play co-op. That's hysterical for 2 reasons. 1, it's just really fun to shoot zombies in the face with your friend, right? But 2, how the people move in the game. Instead of sort of running like this, but they're not moving like that. It's hysterical. Look, get it, have a friend that's got it, play with each other on co-op, and if you're still disappointed, let me know, because I don't know how you can be, because co-op with your mate playing through that game is amazing. Right, let's move on. The next game is Resist. You definitely need your VR legs for the game Resist. Right, full review that I did of Resist is up here, and I'll also put the link down below as well, like with the rest of the games that I've done full reviews for. What do you do in Resist? You swing through the city like Spider-Man, basically. Shooting robots out of the sky. You can freeze time, well, slow down time. You've got a jetpack. You've got shotguns and pistols that both look like pistols, so it's amazing. There's some story, there's puzzles, but the best thing about this game, guys, is you get to swing through the city like an absolute badass, slowing down time midway through a swing to shoot some zombies. I've been talking too much about Resident Evil and Arizona Sunshine. To shoot some robots out of the sky, have big battles. You can do races, jumping from skyscraper to skyscraper. There's fun little adventure puzzle parts. This game is really, really good. The best thing about it is flying through the city, feeling amazing, jumping from building to building, winner. Right, let's move on. Stride. Parkour in VR. And that pretty much sums it up. You get to run, jump from buildings without injuries, in the comfort of your own home. Definitely, again, need your VR legs for this. It's super fun. It works really well, actually. The mechanics they've got really, really good. I mean, I don't really know too much more to say about it. But I mean, that's it in a nutshell. It's parkour in VR. You get to run around, jump from building to building, feel a bit like a badass again. Try it out. I'm probably not selling it very well there. I know that, especially considering some of the other ones how I've talked about them. This game is insanely fun. Really, really, really fun. And totally, utterly different from any other game I've played, now I think about it. Like, really, really totally different. Definitely have your VR legs before you play it though. But if you have, get this game. It's super, super fun. And if you're ever thinking, oh, I don't really fancy playing a shooter and I don't fancy doing this and I don't do that, and you want to have fun, this is the game to get. Right, move on. So on to the final game, Onward. It's a VR realistic military shooter, in a nutshell. There's a solo campaign and you can play in co-op, sort of multiplayer and so on. This game's fantastic because it blends great graphics, playing against PC VR players as well as just Quest owners. Tactics of it being a more realistic military shooter than for example, like Population 1, which isn't military, but it's arcadey and great and fun, but this is much more realistic. All the different weapons, all the different guns, you know, the different reloading mechanics. This game's fantastic. So if you want a game where you feel like a bit of a badass, but you want to be a bit more adult about it, because it's a bit more of a realistic shooter. You don't want all the cartoony graphics. You want a little bit of realism whilst also being able to shoot people in the face. Onward is the way forward. Thanks. Bye, guys.